Hey, it's a new day, cause Dum Dum forgot to charge her battery, so we only got like
Take
10
two.
minutes of footage yesterday. Uh,
So I'm also eating my favorite salt and vinegar chips. So I'm going to thoroughly also enjoy myself while Heather's talking.
the Dixon
FYI.
ASMR.
No.
That's his.
Nope. I
Thank
hate
God. Me
ASMR.
too.
I will do
It
my
gives
best to
me the
go.
ick. It gives me the ick so
When
severely.
people do the little ding 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 on
For
whatever
me,
they're doing, it pisses
yeah,
me off.
it's annoying. And when they whisper,
No,
yeah.
like you know how people do like, oh, like day in the life, get ready with me, and it's like 7 a.m. Clink 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 on all their like skincare stuff. I want to like
It's so unnecessary. It's not
vomit.
pleasing. I
Yeah.
hate the whispering. The whispering is the thing that I hate the most.
Mhm. Me too.
Anyway,
Moving
I
on.
wish I could remember where I was last
Welcome,
night.
welcome back to Sappho and Her Sister with a salt and vinegar chip. Um, and we are doing
I'm definitely
a
not starting my spiel over from scratch.
okay. We are doing a kind of gay awakening and
Slash mental health
autistic.
awakening.
Yeah, mental health
Yeah.
awakening is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Where chewing on her duck.
Oh.
Oh, she's getting it. She's getting it. Oh. She just picked it up and went.
That's such a classic cat movie. Let me see if I can get it on video. We're so sidetracked. Oh, she's doing flips.
Get it, Mama.
Oh, your pumpkin.
Having a time of her life. My floor looks really clean.
It does. Also, I am so putting this in the
That's
video,
fine.
and I get to put you on blast for having Christmas presents wrapped in November.
Shut up! Leave me
What?
and my tree and my presents alone.
You're the one who decided to wrap them like the second you bought them.
No, it was actually 3 months after I bought them.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had presents since like probably August.
Yeah, you were asking me like late August, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you?
A bitch is on a budget and a bitch has got shit to do. But anyway, moving on. Lesbian
Oh,
and
goodness.
mental health awakening. You first. I'll
I
eat my chips.
I was talking about my story, and I remember I was talking about stimming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to go back and talk about like when I was a kid, like different experiences, because like the stimming that I was talking about, like the tissues and everything, like that was always just instinctual to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also with the
I'm sorry. She's now deciding to play in her tent. Sorry,
honestly,
she's now deciding to play in her tent.
I'm living for it because this cat never exercises. So like, go off. Not not for lack of trying either. You've tried so hard to get her to move. She's just a big ball of dough.
She is like a snowball, ramming her face into the candy corn and pushing it across the floor, not realizing that she is moving the whole thing.
Anyway,
Yeah, baby. Moving on.
also, I I remember as a kid I had an Egypt phase where there's pictures of me in Chicago at the Field Museum. I guess they had some mummy exhibit,
I
and
was also really into Egypt too. I did a whole board game on it. Yeah.
okay, now I gotta show you my box of Egypt stuff. It's in my closet at home. I'll have to dig it up.
Oh my god.
I had some good shit. I'm not gonna lie, but like I had like a pencil case that was like a sarcophagus. It was really drip.
Can we go to like the pyramids of Giza together? I would love that. Do some like archaeological dig or something. I would absolutely love that.
Oh my god! At the fucking gem show over the weekend, there was this one booth that I've seen them a million times before at the gem show, and I happened to notice in the one case that they had a fucking mummy's toe. a mummy toe for $200.
How?
Pigtail and everything. I have no idea.
They're probably fake.
I cannot imagine that
Probably
they
their
acquired
toe.
it somewhere legally.
It's probably their toe or something, or like they know a mortician or something.
It was like mummified, like real ancient looking, like brown. I don't know. I wish I had taken a picture of it, but there was the person was like right there, and I would have felt really weird about it.
Let me take a picture of your toe.
And I was just not feeling very social. Like if I was really in a social mood, I could have been like, oh my gosh, that is so crazy cool. I have to take a picture of that to show my friend or whatever, just to like
Yeah.
make a casual conversation about it so that I'm not just like this weirdo, like, yeah. That's how I feel. But yeah. Anyways, it was very jarring. Um, but yeah, I, I mean, I have pictures of me when I was very little, just like posing so proudly next to like an X-ray of a mummy, and I'm just like, I remember looking at those pictures and being like, how did my parents just think I was a normal child?
Listen, my cousin.
I'm all for them supporting my interests, like parenting 101, but like, how did they not be like, different?
My cousin, if you're listening, I love you, but I'm gonna put you on blast.
Is this the one that we were talking about?
Yeah. He's a few years younger than me.
He's like my age.
Yeah. Still obsessed with fucking trains. Trains and history. Like his whole room was Thomas the Train and history books. Civil War, the War of 1912, anything history related. And I absolutely love history too. Not trains. Like trains are pretty cool, but I think I'm a plane girl. Not gonna lie. I like watching the planes as of recently.
What's your favorite model of plane?
I don't have a favorite model.
You haven't gotten into hyperfixation territory.
I just like watching them. But I think, do I have a hyperfixation?
I do.
Probably law.
You've seen it in me.
Probably law or any type of like paperwork or filing. Ooh, an Excel spreadsheet.
That's not necessarily a hyperfixation.
Listen.
I would say that's more of like, it's very, very satisfying.
No,
a hyperfixation is when you like throw yourself into it and it just like it's me like listening to Bucks Fizz for like an entire 8-hour shift at work and just like never getting sick of it and like learning everything about the band and just like throwing myself into it, and it's my entire personality, and it's all I could, like when I was into Phantom of the Paradise and I would not shut up about it and it would not leave my system.
Yeah, however,
that's a hyperfixation.
If you could lock me in a room full of filing cabinets and distressed papers and say, organize this however you please, I will not eat, I will not pee, I will not poop, I will stay in that room and do it correctly until it's done. It will be in alphabetical order by section, by file cabinet, and everything will be labeled and it will be fucking perfect.
The urge to sort is very neurodivergent. I'm just saying, oh no. I'm just saying I wouldn't classify that as a hyperfixation. I'm saying that's like a separate neurodivergent thing.
Could be.
I don't know a term for it, but anyway, back to like the childhood stuff. Like I have a picture of me like doing the thing on like flower petals, and you like little pinky in the air. I have to send you all these pictures, by the way, for the edit. But yeah, and like I've always like Egypt was like the first hyperfixation, but beyond that, like I have always been into music. And when I say into music, it's like my entire personality. It's like
hang on 1 second. I'm just gonna run to the restroom super quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, Allie's gotta poop.
No. Sorry about that.
They don't have to know. We'll just edit.
You've already fucking told them I was gonna go poop, and now I have to clear the air. I did not have to poop. I had to check to see
this out. You're gonna be editing anyway.
If I had my lady month. That's what it was.
She's going to be editing this anyway.
I'm gonna leave it in.
Honestly, you can chop this out so damn easily. Just chop the end of the last clip, chop the beginning of this clip. Nobody has to know.
Do you really think I care after you just aired that I had to poop?
We're not live. You can say whatever you want. And
It is kind of funny.
It doesn't have to make it to the cutting room floor.
It is kind of funny, though. I'm not gonna lie. I will probably just keep it in because it's hilarious.
That Ladies and Tangents podcast that I watch, like, they talk about poop all the time.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's off limits, and I love that. That's very us.
Exactly. So we're keeping it in. Sorry, guys. I thought I had my period.
As long
I
as
don't.
you're comfortable.
Like half the fucking
We've
viewers
all-
are women.
we've all been there.
Yeah. Patiently waiting. But yes, continue on about Egypt, Heather.
No, I was talking about the hyperfixations and
Mhm.
like when I first started getting into music, it was like when I was younger, like my parents would always play like their music and everything, so that became like just ingrained in my brain. Like,
Mhm.
but like over the years, I started like just like through YouTube and whatever, just like discovering music on my own, and then like almost like falling down a rabbit hole of like, oh, this musician was on this and they were also in this band and they worked with this person and let's check out that band and like all the different offshoots of like every single band ever. Like for example, like when I was in high school, I got really into the Bay City Rollers, and then I got really into the period of the Bay City Rollers where they had a different lead singer. His name was Duncan Fora, and he's like a million times better than Les McEwen. I'm not sorry. By the way, the Bay City Rollers fans are
Cue incoming tangent.
vicious.
Already buy it.
If you come for their favorites, if you criticize their favorites, I have been they're like middle-aged older ladies. They will come for you, and they're petty.
That's how the like women who like try to date like serial killers in prison, they will like literally
They're not
run
that
over
unhinged.
train tracks.
They're not that unhinged.
Not that unhinged, but they will literally die for them, and they don't even know them.
I remember interacting with one person on Instagram who was so bananas that I had to block her. She posted a picture. She posted a picture from this band Rabbit. She posted a picture from the album cover session for their one record, and she was like claiming that she took the picture like after sex with them or something, and I'm like, no.
Get out of here.
I'm just like calling her up. She was so bizarre. I don't know what her deal was.
Trying to steal clout credit. That's what that is.
But anyways, like with the rollers thing, it's like I was really into like Duncan Fora, and then I dove into like all of his other projects. Turns out before the rollers, he was in a band called Rabbit, which is like the most underrated band of all time. They are phenomenal. They only had 3 albums, but my god, they are perfect albums. And also in that band was Trevor Rabin, who later went on to join the band Yes. And he was instrumental in like probably their most popular album, 9125. Like, and it's like, oh my god, here's this like weird connection to this like really big band. Like it's like I'll like go in these rabbit holes and like all of the little like offshoots and everything. Like right now, I literally learned about another member of the Bay City Rollers, Ian Mitchell. I knew he had a project after the Rollers called Ian Mitchell Band, but what I didn't know was he had another band called Bachelor of Hearts, and another member of the Bay City Rollers, Pat McGlynn, was also in that. I literally just learned about that like last night.
Come on. Hey, welcome, Lily.
Also, did you know that Ian Mitchell of the fucking Bay City Rollers was in a porn?
I'm sure they all probably were. Wait, did you watch it? Is that what you
No,
said?
no.
Okay.
If I felt comfortable searching for it, I probably would. But I really do not know how to go about that. Like, if someone sent me a link, I probably would watch it, just out of curiosity's sake.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, just don't.
It's more for just curiosity. Anyway,
Yeah.
I
I highly recommend that's not a good search history, and if you are, please do it on a VPN on an incognito.
I've
Just
not had the
joking,
balls
guys.
to search for that.
Oh,
I
hmm
could stare into those eyes all day.
I know she's a sweetie, but
But yeah, with the hyperfixations, like that has always been a part of my personality.
mhm.
Like when I am into something, you will know because you will not hear the end of it. Like like end of October I got really, 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 really into Phantom of the Paradise. And I would not shut up about Phantom of the Paradise and Paul Williams for like 3 weeks. And I'm still on a Paul Williams kick, but I've branched out a little bit. So there's that. Um but yeah, when I dive into something, I dive really, really deep. And another thing about growing up was like, I feel like every milestone I just hit so late in life, like partly because of just anxiety and like just being so nervous to like do anything new, but like part of it is just like a social thing. Like I've never been very like socially comfortable. Like literally, I was just telling you earlier, like with you and with my boyfriend, like I'm just now starting to feel so comfortable that I feel like I can come out of my shell more and more and open up. I also my therapist is probably instrumental in this as well, but
Absolutely.
I
She is staring at you when you're talking. She's like, "What are you saying? What you doing?" Sorry,
do you have
continue.
anything to say?
Oh, her nose now it's good.
She's sniffing it.
Also, if you see the little pink spot on her face, it's fine right here.
She just rubs
She
away it.
she goes and puts her whole snout under the faucet to lick the water. So she has one like here, here, and here, and every once in a while she'll like rub the fur down. Um, but yeah, it's just her being obnoxious with the faucet water. I promise she's fine, and she just gets a little sad when I'm not home. That's all.
We're all over the place tonight.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, back on track.
Yeah. Um, Socially, I've always struggled. Also, the very first college that I went to, my first 2 semesters, I went to one college and then I transferred over to another one that was like way better for me. But the first one was so tiny that it was like worse than high school because my high school was pretty big, but
Yeah, you
like
have a big graduating class.
it
Oh my
was
god.
it was the tiniest of tiniest classes in my first college, and I
Didn't you say you had like 10 people in one class?
I wasn't fitting in very well because like it was like I remember in my film classes specifically there were kind of like two kinds of people. Like it was like a friend group and then like the oddball people that were probably neurodivergent in some way. Like and I was one of the outcasts. But like I remember when I was leaving, there were what are you laughing at? You're getting head rubs.
She, like, I just see her head going like this.
Yeah, because I'm getting good head rubs. If you want to win your way to a kitty's heart, give them head rubs.
She likes chin scratches.
Well, she's enjoying the head rubs pretty good. But anyways, I
Sorry. Distracted by my cat.
when I was at the first college, I very much like kept to myself. Like in between classes, I would just like chill in the library, just like listen to music, like just very much a loner. Like I wanted to be friends with these people, but I wasn't very social, so I was just like, that scare me. I would
Whoa!
like,
Whoa!
it's okay. I mean, I would like think that I was like making friends with these people, but I never really would like actually be friends with them. And I remember one time I could have sworn that like in the same classroom they were like making fun of the way that I would walk. Like they were like but like I wasn't 100% sure because I wasn't paying attention.
What?
But I was like,
Weird.
they were like doing something, and I was like, are they talking about me? But I'm not 100% sure. But what I am sure of is, let me see if I can actually find the receipts. Because
I got receipts.
so I have to re-download an app really quick. But I remember when I was leaving, there were a handful of people that were also transferring for whatever reason because it was kind of a toxic environment. And one of them was talking to me about how like people would literally like make fun of me behind my back. And I was like, whoa. Because I never noticed. Like, aside from that one thing, like, I never noticed.
You're just kind of doing your own little thing.
Okay, I have to.
I'm so sorry.
I have to log in. One sec.
If you can hear this licking, I put lotion on my hand and she's licking it all off. Did you get it all?
I hope I remember my password. Okay, I did.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Alright, let me see if I can find this person. Alright, I found the messages. I'm just trying to scroll to the top.
Give us the tape.
So yeah, so it started with this person I was messaging with, like, I think they were asking, like, why I was transferring and being like, oh, congrats. And then, and then I was like, yeah, everyone seems, like, really cliquey. Okay, I'm gonna read out my own text, too.
Mm-hmm.
I said the film people are so cliquey. Like, they're all nice on their own, but when they're in the same room, I can't get a word in if I try. And let me see.
Oh, she's right behind you.
Okay, here we go. I said, no, nobody's done or said anything harmful to me, at least that I'm aware of. When you put it that way, it sounds like they didn't like me too much. Like, I find whatever person pretty obnoxious, but other than that, I don't have, like, real beef with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, yeah, a lot of people talk shit about you. You and a lot of other people. I try to stand up for you, but I know how people are.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so they said a lot of people talk shit about you like a metric fuck ton, saying that you're annoying, clingy, give terrible ideas, turn in shitty projects, just stupid stuff.
A metric
Two people in
fuck
particular
ton?
complain the most. Yeah. Verbatim.
What the fuck is a metric fuck ton?
A lot.
Okay.
But yeah. And then there was this one person in the film class that they thought I had a crush on when I definitely didn't. And it's like, listen, if you actually knew me at the time, you would know that I was spending all of my time obsessing over Duncan Fora. Like,
if you actually
listen,
knew me, I'm neurodivergent. You would know that I'm crushing over a 50-year-old.
He was like 60 at the time.
Even better.
So, like, this person they were talking about, like, professionally, I looked up to him as, like, oh, I love his work, and, like, he seems really funny, and I'd love to, like, work with him. But I never once thought of him in that way.
That's
like,
funny.
Never.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So that part was kind of funny to me, but yeah. Yeah, they also said you really cling to the person that they thought I liked and hated and glared whenever another girl would look to be around him. I'm like, what? I definitely did not do that. I do have like resting bitch face. Like I know my eyes can be pretty intense, but like not even. Yeah, here's my response to that. I said that's probably because he was the only one that was legit nice to me and he ran the fucking film club. And 9 times out of 10, it was blank, who I legit find obnoxious.
I feel like with that small of a school, it's not that much different from high school. So the drama and the talking behind each other's back and the bullying and this and this and this is all just transferred. basically. It's literally like grade 13 at that small of a school, and it's horrible that people in college still do that. But granted, it was your first 2 years, so they didn't really mature that well.
I'm glad I'm looking through these messages because I don't remember a lot of this. Like, number one, it was like 5, 6 years ago. And number two, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about this, so I just like forgot a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another message where I said I fucking hated film club meetings because by the end, because I couldn't get a damn word in and everyone was so close. It was like being an outsider watching a fucking movie or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Here's a good message from me. I said, like, if you're gonna talk shit about me, at least make sure the information is accurate. Like, if someone roasts me about my undying love for the Bay City Rollers, it's whatever, but don't go sniffing for drama when there isn't any.
Oh my god.
Listen, I will own up to the fact that I absolutely love things that are really camp and corny and silly and fun. Like, unironically. Like, it just gives me so much joy. I will fucking lean into that shit all day long. Just don't make up shit about me, because you already got ammo. You know?
Facts. Facts. You're already weird. You got enough points at being weird.
But yeah, the gist of this was that, like, there was a lot of. Okay, I reached the end of the message, but the gist of this was, like, I was being confirmed, too, that people were, like, talking shit about me behind my back, people that I barely knew. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, it was. Like, I could tell there were some weird vibes in the air, and, like, I felt excluded, but beyond that, I didn't know they were talking shit about me. So it makes me wonder, like, how much I missed in high school. And also, like, after I transferred to that other place, there was people that I knew from high school that I thought were friends with me ended up like I had a falling out with them, and then they made like a fake account on Instagram to like interact with me. What the? I just wanna breathe. I'm leaving that in. I'm still leaving that in.
I'll sing on camera.
But yeah, the weird part about the fake account thing was like the messages were just so ordinary. Like it's not like they like if they were fishing for gossip, they were pretty bad at it. Jesus. Like I was just talking and I'm like, oh, nice person, got some interest in common with me, cool.
Oh my god.
And then I found out that they were like using it to like laugh at me behind my back. And I'm like, that whole drama was such a big can of worms that I'm not about to get into, but that's just another example of just like being bullied.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also had like falling outs with friends before I knew I was neurodivergent over things that were like relatively stupid, and it's like now that I know I'm neurodivergent, it's like, oh my god, I wish I had the ability to like explain myself and communicate what was going on in my head, and like really I just wish I could go back and like talk to those people and like try to help them understand more about me and just be like, hey, I'm so sorry if I'm literally the most annoying person in the universe, but I'm autistic and my brain was just doing this and this. I had no idea at the time. I was just reacting naturally, and I there's one friendship especially that blew up that I really, really regret, and like occasionally I'll see that person once in a while where they work, and I want to say something so bad to like apologize, but I'm too much of a chicken.
Why don't you just message them?
I did once, but I don't know if they still have the same phone number. I don't know if they have me blocked or whatever, but never got a response. But
yeah, I talked a little bit about that, a very similar scenario on our last app, I think.
Anyway, if you're watching this and we were best friends from elementary school and the librarians used to mix us up because we looked similar, like, please, I miss you, you're awesome.
Yeah, everybody can use more friends. We're out
feel
of that stage where it's,
I feel like with that
clicks.
particular beef, I feel like if we had like a while to just sit and talk it over, like
It would
we
be
probably
fine.
could smooth it over.
Yeah.
Because it was over something very, very, very stupid. It was also at my first college. Like that was just a train wreck. It was.
My college was fucked.
but but yeah, it's definitely affected me, especially before I figured it out, because now it's like I can kind of like reach inwardly and be like, okay, what's happening here? How am I like why am I reacting this way? Like what's causing me to think this way? What's causing me to feel this? And I have the ability to like express that and like analyze it more. Whereas back then it was just like I would just react to something and come across like a fucking weirdo. And it's like, why are you getting uptight about that? And it's like, I don't know, I just fucking hate it. You know?
She was mad that I had my wipers on in my car.
It stopped raining. It was bone dry.
Raining, and it was dark, and I was just carrying on with my conversation, explaining.
Ellie, your wipers.
She like
are not wiping anything.
She interrupted my great story about how me and my best friends are super
we got
close.
A pee story.
I gotta get consent. We can talk about it, and then I'll get consent if we can leave it in.
Can, like, take it out if we need to, but
yeah.
So on Halloween, why don't you tell the Halloween part of that?
Okay.
You were drunk at the time. Let's see what you remember.
Me and my besties, I'll backtrack it. Me and my two besties, you know who you are. I love you. We love you. Thank you for supporting us. Hi. And we go way back to like middle school, right? So we've been friends for like forever and a day, it feels like. So, you know, we've pretty much seen each other naked multiple times. Just how it is, honestly. Like, it's no big deal. Yeah, exactly. You know, you change in the same room. Well, when we're drunk, we're very efficient. Women are very efficient when we are drinking.
Some women are
very efficient. We will go in one stall with all of our friends, no matter what we are wearing or how big or how small the stall is, and we will take turns peeing and then flush once.
Here's the thing.
But the way I explained it when I was drunk,
clearly not clear enough for me.
Because I was like, oh yeah, we pee on top of each other. And but I didn't say pee on top of each other's pee.
Yeah.
So she thinks we're fucking scissoring on the toilet. And I'm like, no.
It took me no. It is like the 17th of November when we're recording this.
Almost a month.
This happened like the weekend before Halloween.
The 28th.
And I genuinely had no fucking idea how they managed this. Because I'm like, if you had penises, then you could like all piss in the toilet at the same time. Like, makes sense.
That would be so functional.
But I'm like, how? I'm like, that's not physically possible to pee in the same toilet at the same time. And you're like, no, we just like, we pee and then the other person pees and then the other person pees and then we flush. And I'm like, why didn't you explain it like that?
You weren't in the bathroom when we were doing it.
Because I'm very like, get away from me. If I have to pee, like, give me a moment.
I'm scared.
I'm sorry. She's like, oh, you're the saddest look.
Poor me.
So yeah, I genuinely had no idea how to interpret that. And then when she explained it tonight, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I was like cracking the fuck up. I'm like, you really
trying to
think
drive.
we're like trying to like how basically scissoring.
That's why I was That's why I was so hung up on it and why I couldn't wrap my head around it, because I'm like, how is that physically possible? That's why I was so So cute. Anyway. Oh God, where was it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God, hitting on one of my bullet points. So that was some of the struggles, but also like I I I I don't want to be like, oh, autism is like yes, it's difficult because it's like being a left-handed person in a world where everything is made for right-handed people, which I am, by the way.
Being in a world designed for straight people.
See, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
being in a world where everything is made for straight fingers and fucking toes pisses me off.
Yeah, you have like
yeah.
Your fingers are like I've never seen a human with fingers
Actually.
no. But like I also don't want to be one of those people that's like autism is a superpower because it's like I don't want to be like overly hype about it because it's nuanced like most things.
What is your superpower?
Hyperfixation.
I don't.
Because I'm being very, very sensitive to certain things. Like I can definitely tell different brands of water apart. Like we got new labels at work for like a certain thing, and I could tell immediately that it was like a very different texture and it was like thinner and it wasn't glossy. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Like,
oh my God,
very specific things. Just kidding. Now we're back.
And we're back again.
Jesus, girl.
I don't know. Dude, I got this for $75 when I first moved in. It's fine.
Listen, when you already feel like a fat beast, and then you almost break a piece of furniture, it's humbling.
Maybe it's not.
I'm full of a tiny shop. I have no awareness of my motor skills.
Maybe my couch is not as dirty as Dad's couch. How about that?
I always used to get yelled at by Dad for slamming the car door when I wasn't trying to. I was just closing it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you slammed it way too hard. I'm like, trying to. Oh God.
Dude, it's all good. It's really all good.
Jesus Christ.
It's fine. It's not like I have that many guests over. It's pretty much you.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's cool. I like this side of the couch better anyway, so that's officially your side.
Okay.
So do whatever you want to that side.
So wrapping up mine, I also said no, I
Are we leaving that in first?
Yes, of course. Okay. We have to. I can't not.
Oh, that's so funny.
Also, when I was looking to find the photos that I was mentioning earlier, and I found another one of me when I was really little, like digging in the sluice for gemstone mining, and that reminded me that has also been a lifelong thing for me. Love my rocks and crystals and everything, and I am like in the sluice when you're like sifting through stuff, like first of all, sluice is that thing where it's like a waterfall and you get like a bag of like dirt and you pour it into the sifter and like use the water to like rinse out the dirt and then like it reveals the rocks that are in the dirt.
I thought it was called a sluice.
I say sluice because that's what feels right to me.
It sounds like you're saying St. Louis, but really fast, without the T.
Sluice.
I know. St. Louis.
No.
Close enough.
No, but anyways, that's a lifelong thing for me. But I like speaking on the hyperfixation thing, I love that I have the ability to focus on things so intensely and retain that information and just be like an expert on rocks or like an expert on my favorite bands. Like I love that genuinely. Like I know I'm a massive dork, but I like it. And like I don't even hate being autistic. It's just like sometimes I do struggle a lot. but also, like, I feel like I don't hate the way that I am. It's just annoying that the world is not set up for people like me. And most
Mhm.
people really do not have the full picture of autism and like think about stereotypes, and
Mhm.
it's so misconstrued. And it's really frustrating, especially when I'm the kind of person where I want to be understood. I want you to be able to read my mind. Like, I want you to know me that well. 'Cause, like,
Yet you don't open
I,
up.
yeah, I know.
Mhm.
But, like, it's so amazing to understand my own brain better and to understand why it works the way that it does and to have the words to be able to express why I am the way that I am. Like all my weird little quirks and everything that I thought were just completely random, like actually connect back to something. And it's like, it's amazing. I can't downplay how monumental it was to like figure out this huge part of myself. Like, God, I need to stop saying the word like. If you edit this, you have to
Nope.
put like a like counter on.
If I figure it out, sure.
Like a little ding 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 every time I say like.
I feel like
But yeah, that's
I feel that will go with any person this day and age.
yeah, especially me.
It's been a thing for a really long time, I promise.
Anyways, I think that about wraps up my thoughts on my own neurodivergence and like my story. So let's get into yours. Get me on the team.
Okay,
If you need
so
the notes, here's my yeah.
yeah, let me see. Sorry, big yawn. Big yawn. Okay. I was up at 5 this morning and it is now 10 o'clock at night.
I'm supposed to be up at 5 tomorrow. I'm so sorry.
Oh, girl, it's
Half of the reason why we're up so late is because I'm a fucking idiot.
no, it's also because we went to Best Buy.
I
We also went to Dollar Tree.
We
And that's
we
8.
went to Best Buy because I didn't have my laptop and my memory card
She was
reader
not prepared.
for
That's
this
what it was.
very specific SD card that my camera takes. So then we had to go to not one but two Best Buys just to find a reader that would work. And then it took like 20 minutes just for the memory card reader to actually read the memory card on her laptop.
I think it was an issue with the way your SD card is
A little fucked up.
formed. Yeah, it's a little jacked up on one side, very
It's
minusculely, that it wasn't pushing down correctly.
it's bizarre because I haven't had a problem with it with my equipment,
It
but
could
also I
just
fully believe you.
be, yeah, exactly. But anyway,
Sorry.
moving into me, I guess, where do I start? I'm gonna go from
Are
the
there any little signs from Baby Allie that something might have been a little non-straight?
a little bit. So I'll kind of go over what made me start looking into dating women first, and then as things started to click, and then I'll go into like a little bit of mental health at the end, which is like recent as of like 3 days ago, probably.
Ooh.
Um, whatever I told you on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was panicking over neurodivergence.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
We were trying to diagnose her over the phone.
I was like, these.
We were on the phone for like a full hour. No, it was an hour. I was watching.
Oh, I'm
Time.
sorry. I was
No, I was
freaking
fine.
out.
It was kind of funny. I'm like, damn, I haven't had a phone call this long in a while.
Freaking out. Okay. So, uh, I, as you all know, I broke up with my ex almost a year ago. It was December 18th, and
Ex's birthday.
it was a week before my birthday.
Not
Or
10
no,
days.
huh?
10 days before your
10
birthday.
days, something like that. I know it was like
Yay, I
right
remembered your
around my
birthday.
birthday. But yeah, I broke up with him around that time and had a little bit of a get back out there phase, for lack of better terms. And I was in this mindset of like, I guess guy mindset, where you're only, I only want you here because it's pleasing me, and I'm gonna get mine first before you get yours. That was my mentality.
So
Where
it's
it's like,
more transactional and less about relationships.
yeah, it
Just
was like, I need a
let's
need.
fuck, let's have some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there was a good little bit of that, and then I was like, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after awkwardness, awkwardness, awkwardness. You know the whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? Let's switch our Tinder and Hinge profiles and see what the ladies are offering. Let's see.
Was it just kind of a whim like that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Literally, yeah. And I was like, let's see what the other side has got. Okay, so switched my filters pretty much just out of the blue, seeing what was out there. You did a very good job, Heather.
Thank you.
You sat very gently, very good, very nicely. And uh just tried to see what was going on, any girls that piqued my interest. Um I didn't have my afternoon Celsius. This is why I'm yawning. I'm so sorry. Okay, so there was a couple ladies that I had like swiped on that I was like, oh, okay, like, I could, go on a date, see how it is, whatever. And meanwhile, I had never been with a girl at all, not like that at all. So I was very nervous. I was like, oh no, like what's gonna happen? Like I would need someone that like looks like they know what they're doing because I don't. So I came across this one profile. Her and I hit it off for a little bit, and she grew up not very far from me. Pretty much grew up almost identically in a way of like location, what we did for fun in some ways.
Everything you were telling me about this woman was like, I was like, I ship it so hard. Like, I was like, oh my god, she's awesome.
Yeah, she is pretty cool. So Uh, meanwhile, I had mentioned to her that I was new to this realm. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I could kind of figure it out because I've had a lot of sex previously with men, so I'm sure I can understand it a little bit. But like the first few times are probably going to be a little bit funky. And she was pretty okay and like understanding and I guess guided me in a way, which was kind of nice. And it felt like very natural, where it was like,
Aww.
oh, like this is kind of like cool. I don't know how else to explain it.
This whole time.
Yeah, oh, this feels much fucking better. um, so yeah, I think after like having that first experience of like having sex with a woman, it was like, oh yeah, like we're definitely gay. We are definitely gay.
It very much felt like there was no doubt about it. Like, oh yeah, it's confirmed.
Yeah, I like called everybody that night. I'm like, guys, no dick.
Yes.
Okay. It's confirmed. I wasn't sure before, but now I am. So yeah, everybody was super supportive. And then after that, I started down the rabbit hole of like WLW TikTok things on YouTube. Yeah, like learning more about the queer community. But what had happened, which should have been my sign, was about maybe a year, like maybe August of last year, I found Jade Fox on YouTube. She's a gay creator in the like LA area, you know, talks a lot about like androgyny and how to dress and stereotypes and does like, I think, yeah, she's super cool. She doesn't really post all the time, but definitely she,
Worth a watch.
yes, she's super funny. She also does these like, kind of like glow up transformations where she has like people send her photos of like,
Aww.
you know, baby gay to like hard gay or straight to non-binary or straight to lesbian.
The journey of finding themselves.
Yeah, and it is so cool. It's so cool. But I found one of her videos, so I was like kind of binging her channel a little bit, and then she worked with a girl named Jess, who is also in LA. She's a mask dancer in LA, and she also makes YouTube videos. And the video that I watched was Bedroom Talk 101, which was her basically explaining, you know, kind of things to do, like what to look for, how to like, you know, set the mood, like just the whole thing, all the little tips and tricks. And as I was watching that, I was thinking, I already do all these things with men, and it's not even appreciated.
Oh.
Not even that, like, I uh, have been known for a few skills that I've been told that she had mentioned, and I was like, oh, I've been doing that for a while. Okay. And then
Now I want to know, but you don't have to say it if you don't want to. We can talk about it later.
it's it's just using your tongue in a very particular way.
Chocolate.
Little bit, yeah. Even though I couldn't do it because my mouth doesn't open that wide. Like this way. So so I had watched those two creators around like maybe July, August of like last year. And I was still with my ex at the time. And then I think it was around July of this year, almost a year later,
It was July because I remember I was on my way home from vacation when you were texting me.
Yeah,
about,
it was
like,
the
finding
week.
a woman on.
It was the
Tinder or
week
whatever.
after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I went away.
Yep.
And I just remember like
that.
completely not expecting that, but also being like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, just like let's see how this goes.
Yeah, let's see what happens. So it was around July or August when I had went back to that channel for Jess, and I was like, oh, we're gonna watch this shit again and make sure we did shit correctly. And it clicked. And then I was like, oh, okay. But then as I started like learning about the queer community and like I've watched Manny MUA, who's, you know, a gay makeup artist on YouTube, very successful. Like he's talked a lot about concerns and issues that he's had within the queer community and things like that, where there's kind of like good and bad in every type of gathering or community. There is a little bit too far over the line, and then there's the people who are like within the boundaries in a way.
It's almost like every kind of human being is nuanced.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You'll have people who
like people have forgotten that nuance exists.
Yeah, you have people that like don't know how softly they're sitting on a couch, and people who like delicately sit on the who delicately sit on the couch and try not to break and make a sound. I'm just fucking with you.
Fucking with me.
I wouldn't be a sister if I didn't.
I know. It's well deserved. Just the amount of shit that I give you. I should be well prepared to get it back.
Exactly. So yeah, also around that time I was trying to figure out Oh, okay, backtracking to when I was with my ex. This is also another point that kind of like clicked afterwards where uh I have a very boxy torso and arms.
I personally think there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. I would not consider her boxy, but
Well, just the
we're all our own toughest critic.
yeah, like my ribs
You just
from
need
a side
privilege to
profile.
balance it out.
No, it's not even that. It's like my ribs aren't straight down. They're kind of flared out a little bit. So it makes my rib cage wider. Like you know how some girls they're like really tiny where you could just go like this? Mine would be more like this around my ribs.
Mine is like this.
Right. So I have a very rounded rib cage. I have a very rounded rib cage where it's not it's not feminine in a way when I
You just
see
don't
it.
perceive it as feminine.
Right. It like even if I wear like a little strappy tank top, it looks weird on me, you know?
In your opinion.
No, like overall some like certain shirts just I don't have the body type for it. I know that. I stay away from them.
That's why you kind of gotta like find what fits with your body type,
Mhm.
and it never ever has anything to do with the way that you are structured. It's what kind of clothing flatters me the most. You know,
Which is
it's
also kind of how you're structured.
no, it's never like, oh, it's a problem that I have this type of frame. Like it's
Mhm.
never a problem. It's just let's find what works best with that.
Mhm.
Because there are certain like everything is completely like everything looks different on
Different
different
people.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So I got some big broad shoulders. I got a big rib cage. I
This girl is tiny.
I'm only 5 foot, but I'm like built like a brick shit house. Like I got tree trunks for fucking thighs
No.
and PVC pipes for arms.
I
mean, look it.
You're curvy, but like so am I.
I don't know. I don't know. That was a weak excuse for a bicep. I'm working on it. But they're pretty.
Showing off in tits.
They're not noodle arms, is what I'm saying. They're pretty meaty.
Yeah, because you're not 90 pounds.
Right. But they're also not flub for the most part either. Like they're pretty strong.
I got the flub.
But for example, like my stepsister, she went to go give me like a tricep shot in my arm, and I had my arm just down, relaxed, and she's like, "Relax your arm," and I'm like, "I am," and she's like, "That's your tricep, just flexed," and I'm like, "I guess, sure," and she's like, "Damn," and I was like, "Okay, cool, thanks." Um, but fast forwarding, where my ex would make fun of me for almost in a way being too masculine.
This guy was the absolute worst.
Yeah. So like when I was sick,
take anything that he has said with any kind of seriousness.
well, he used to tell me when I was sick, like you know how when you're sick your voice gets deeper and more scratchy.
Cold voice, like
Me too. I love mine.
I
However,
feel it.
he would call me fucking Chad. Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh hey Chad," and I'm like, "All right, Veronica or something." I don't know. I would call him whatever. And there was one time I was walking into my room and I just had like I don't think I was wearing anything up top and I had like shorts on or something. And I must have just walked in very like confidently, just minding my own business in my own head. And my arms don't go straight down at my sides. I kind of bow out a little bit, like this in a way. Not because my arms are like this all the time. It's just naturally they kind of bow out because
Because you're a human being.
Yeah,
there's a stick figure.
Yeah, my arm kind of goes against my boob, so I would have to rest it naturally. It kind of pokes out.
And you're not a cartoon drawing.
Yeah, so I guess the way I was walking in was like, you know how when you watch like a WWE wrestler walk out, they're kind of like, "Ugh," and their arms don't go down by their sides. He was comparing me to that. And I was like, I don't know if that means I could beat your ass, but
You should have beat his ass.
I probably could have.
Yeah, you definitely could have.
Yeah. Like my arms are definitely way bigger than his. I don't care if you have abs. That doesn't mean anything.
You could snap his ass like a twig.
But yeah, then I would feel very masculine because he would also not like me wearing makeup or doing my hair or like being feminine unless it was time to be sexy.
Those are massive red flags.
Yeah, so I only really felt feminine when I would wear like lingerie or something, but then I would feel like I was putting on a costume. It would feel weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really like this on me at this moment. When I've worn lingerie before, it was fine. Never any problem with it. Always loved it. Always hyped myself up. And at that time, it was very like, huh, this is odd. And then afterwards, like now coming out as gay, I'm like, okay, does that mean like I want to present myself more masculine when I dress, or it's just more masculine how I present myself? Um,
You're freeing yourself from gender norms and just going with what feels right.
well, in certain areas, like if I'm standing next to a woman, sometimes depending on how she's presenting herself, I'll feel more feminine or more masculine.
Like, give me an example.
So if I'm around,
like if you're with a butch, you'll probably feel like a little girly.
not it doesn't even have to be a lesbian. It could be any, but it could be a friend, it could be
How do you feel
a coworker,
for example?
I feel like regular.
Good, you should.
Yeah. But I'm also with you all the time and you're like my family. But like if I'm with, okay, for example, the girl that I trained at my previous job, I would feel more masculine around her because she is more feminine.
Yeah.
Because she,
like in comparison.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. But she's not gay at all. She's very straight. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, they have to be a lesbian or whatever. But she doesn't always wear dresses or anything. It's just like her personality is more feminine than masculine. That's the kind of thing. It doesn't have to be
comparison.
Right, exactly.
Also, I want to take a moment. You mentioned like feeling like you were putting on a costume, and I kind of feel like that almost has something in common with what I go through when I try to like act normal as a neurodivergent person.
I thought you were gonna say when I try on lingerie.
No, there's a term for it. It's called masking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
how ironic.
Like you try to like present yourself as like a neurotypical person, and it correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like that was almost like a similar feeling of like trying to present yourself as straight and like like it's feeling like a costume more than
I feel
natural.
like it wasn't putting on a mask for being straight. It was more of putting on a mask for being feminine when I was told to be all around masculine in a way.
Yeah.
So, like, I also gained a bunch of weight. I didn't do my hair. I never took care of my face. I wouldn't shave my legs. I worked remote. You know, it was just all around bad. So I really wasn't like keeping up with myself. Like, you know, as women, we get our eyebrows done, we shave our legs, we exfoliate, we do this, 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 and this, and this. And I wasn't doing any of that. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'd shave my legs every so often.
I'm doing good if I take care of myself for the day.
Yeah. So, like, now I can put on lingerie and I'm totally, like, cool with it. But I also know that I have bouts where I feel more masculine and bouts when I feel more feminine. So I'm like, okay, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm on a regular day, I'm wearing running shorts, leggings, and a t-shirt or a hoodie. Pants. I hate jeans.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, so I literally hate jeans. I hate wearing jeans.
That was me as a kid.
Oh,
I used to wear stretchy pants all the time, like what I would think of now as like leggings.
Yeah.
And my parents had to like beg me to wear jeans.
Yeah, like I'm very particular about how my jeans fit, and I told her on the way here, but I won't get into that right now. But like I'm more comfortable that way. I'm more comfortable in shorts and a t-shirt. You know, like if I could wear shorts and a t-shirt and a hoodie every day of my life, I would be perfectly happy and dress up when I want to.
I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that it's very normal to kind of fluctuate between like what kind of mood you're in. Like for me personally, like sometimes I have like a real casual vibe of like, oh, just t-shirt and jeans, like rock and roll. And then other times I'm like, fuck it, I want to be glam rock today. Like, like it's different vibes for different moods.
Yeah.
Like that's a very human thing to do, and I'm really glad that you're like embracing that.
Yeah, it also depends like what I'm doing that day or what I got going on. Like obviously if I'm going to like a dinner or something, like I'll throw on some makeup or do my hair or whatever. But I also love doing my makeup. It's very relaxing for me. So if I know that I'm going somewhere, I'll spend an hour on my makeup, and it's not that I'm caking myself up. It's I like to take my time. I like to enjoy the process. It's very therapeutic. But going back to cues, that was a big cue for me thinking, oh, that's probably why we were clashing so much, was because I felt like a very, I felt like I had the more masculine energy and he had more feminine energy. And I talked about this with my therapist a lot as well. Pretty much.
Sorry.
And you can Google it. There's like a sheet about like, you know, what all that means and everything. And it's, you know, not clinically to psychology, it's just used as a frame of reference or an example. So don't take it as law. But it'll say, you know, like for the most part, people who have masculine energy present very confident and assertive and um, also like very friendly. They're very independent. They like to take care of people. Like things like that. Whereas someone who's more feminine, they're more emotional. They'll
Which are just stereotypes that society is
right.
randomly
Some of
assigned.
them are accurate in terms of like women have more hormone changes than men, so we are going to have ebbs and flows of emotions throughout the entire month due to our cycle. So that kind of traditionally makes us a little bit more emotional because of the ebbs and flows rather than just having a steady, and I'm using these terms very, very, very loosely, so please don't come at me for this.
It does get severely exaggerated.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not unstable humans.
Right. But there's also this phase that I went through, kind of almost where our grandma was starting to get not well, where I just had a pretty much like a I don't care, fuck you mentality.
Yeah.
Where I would just have sex just to have sex and not give a shit about the other person, and I didn't care if I never talked to them again. I didn't care if they like wanted something more. I was like, nope, I'm just gonna block you as soon as you leave out my door. I don't really care. I've literally done that so many times.
I kind of feel like having those kind of periods in your life where you're just like experiment and like try a bunch of different things is like important.
It wasn't all different things. It was the same thing, just with different people.
Like, I wish I had been like a little experimental.
You don't. It's okay. I'll take that brunt for you. I got more than enough.
It feels like I got lucky right away, and like I wouldn't change my relationship, but I almost wish there had been a period before where I had like, tried a couple different things, or just like, but I didn't have the confidence that I do now before I met John. So like,
you don't want that life. You don't want that life.
I'm like a whore for old rock stars, but like that was my wild faith.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah. Keep it in your mind.
Which is surprisingly more common than you think. You just have to find people online that are
in the right corners of the internet.
Sorry. Tangent.
But having like, I didn't know what jaded meant until I was talking
Very jaded
with this woman rather, and kind of explaining like how I came to like want to switch my profile options, and she was like, "Do you think you're like just jaded of men and penises?" And I'm like, "Actually, you might be onto something there." And then I realized I was like very, very, very jaded. It's just not enticing. When I thought about like, having sex, I was like, no, I'd rather just like do it by myself or not do it at all. Or it was like painful, or they didn't like warm me up, for example. And I'm like, come on now. We're in our late 20s.
It's a team sport. It's not a solo event.
Not necessarily. There's ABCs that you gotta do.
Like, you have to take care of each other. It's not just like...
Not even that. Don't stick it in raw, please. Unlubricated.
Yeah.
That is very painful. Please don't do that.
Let the car run for a little bit before taking off.
Exactly. You gotta let it warm up. And that was... more times than not, that's what was happening. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to deal with this. If I don't have sex with a person, that's fine. I'll just do it by myself. I really don't care.
Side tangent. How is that even comfortable for guys to just go in dry? Like, that has to be...
It's lubricated inside, but to get inside, you have to go through the dry part.
Yeah, like, that has to be, like...
I don't know how it doesn't hurt them either. And then they're like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, well, you're a fucking dumbass. Yeah. That's what's happening.
Have you ever done this before?
Right? But, I don't know, like, it was just not enjoyable, not fun. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't, like, mentally there. I was just kind of, seeing it as being hungry or thirsty or need to use the bathroom.
And getting yourself junk food instead of like nutritious things.
It was just a 99-cent store heat up ramen pack that was an off label top ramen. That's what it was.
That's a mode.
Yeah, that, and it felt great in the moment, and then afterwards I'm like, oh god, why the fuck did I do that again?
But also, like, you were coping with something very, very difficult, and
This was before that.
Oh.
This was in the spring.
You were still, like, fresh off of a terrible, terrible relationship.
And that's work changes.
Thing to do.
Yeah, work changes, and then I came out as gay, and then grandma had issues. And then my car was getting all crazy. I was trying to figure out to move.
Yeah. I feel like your coping with that whole situation was a much more like typical response, whereas mine was like, I need to listen to every single Howard Jones song a million times.
Oh, I blasted Young M.A. That was deep summer.
I was deep into Howard Jones, and I discovered his music just before she got ill. So it was like a storm. But interestingly, I have more, like, I've been listening to Barry Manilow the last couple of days, and his music is a little more loaded for me. because when I saw him in concert, the only time I seen him in concert was like probably like a week before she passed. And she was in the hospital, she was in hospice, we knew things were bad. So like on my mind there's like these emotional moments in the show and I'm just like trying not to cry, and then he's like talking about how important his grandparents were to him, and I'm just like, can we just fucking not?
My bad.
But like it was a song called Just Another New Year's Eve, and I was listening to it and it was making me really, really sad because I'm like thinking about how like the year is almost over. I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
And like just how fucking shitty this year has been, and then it's like, oh my god, going into next year is gonna be like the first year I've had without my Sammy, without my grandmother, like without a handful of relatives. Like this year has not been kind to the people in my life.
No.
And it's like I'm proud of where I've come, because at the beginning of this year I have made so many changes and I've been fighting for my life to improve myself.
You've been doing a fantastic job.
I don't feel like I am, but go off.
Honestly, same here. Because I got back into therapy this year. I started weighing myself.
I wish I had the confidence to weigh
myself. The best part, I can't remember if I mentioned this on a previous episode. Was at the beginning of the year, I wrote down New Year's resolutions. And some of them were like, be fluent in Spanish, learn how to write with my left hand, like clearly.
Did you?
No, I never do. I try. If I concentrated on it, I probably could.
Every left-handed person I've met has the worst penmanship.
I have to really concentrate on it. Like, if it's on a whiteboard or a chalkboard, like something this way, I can do it, but if it's on paper, I struggle.
I love John so much, but he has the handwriting of, like, first grader.
Yeah.
And it's never not funny to me. I don't want to make fun of him, but it's so
We
funny.
love you, John. We love you, John.
My uncle also has really bad turning, but he's not left-handed.
Anyway.
Sorry.
We love you left-handed people.
I'm so sorry. Continue.
Tangent.
I'm gonna just listen now.
Okay, therapist chair. Here, let me move the notebook.
It's getting late.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up shortly. Okay. So
no, I want you to be able to say everything that you need to say. So.
Well, I will. What was that? Oh, another fucking TikTok. Okay. So
parents, like my parents constantly send us
tangents. Stop it. Cut it out. Okay. Back to this. So I wrote my New Year's resolutions and just stupid stuff like run a mile a day, work out more, get my cholesterol down, write with my left hand, be fluent in Spanish. And the last thing that I put on there was to be confident in everything I do, think, and feel. And that is the only one that I fucking accomplished this year. The only one. So,
good one.
Yeah, and it was the most ambiguous. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I was like, I'm going to see what the fuck happens. And it fucking, like, I got more confident at work. I got more bold at work. I was able to stand up for myself. I was able to kind of accurately express how I was feeling. And I think that helped me to be able to come out to my family and my friends and especially my parents and be like, hey, yeah, like, this is just a regular Tuesday. By the way, I might be seeing a girl. They're like, oh, okay. To them, it was a big thing. But for me, it was like, oh, yeah, I'm just kind of trying this thing and I kind of like it over here better. So I'm just going to stay over here.
With their reactions, like, I'm glad they were nice about it, but I also don't want to give them too much credit because they were very like,
Dad was
you
fine.
never know.
Dad was fine.
Yeah. I feel like it was like, what was it, your mother and Marie that were giving you more?
Yeah.
So like, oh, you don't know, like,
yeah,
no, she does know.
Yeah,
she does know.
But that's also a very common thing when you do come out to your parents because they still have this idea that, like, you'll get married to a guy and you'll have babies
like,
and
they'll have that specific future
already planned out for you in their head, and that's what you're doing is not according to their plan, so they don't really know how to react, which I can't really fault them for it. Like it's probably just happening and they don't realize it, which is fine.
I think we need to acknowledge that and just understand that, like,
They're getting better.
Trust your children to give themselves a happy, fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Like, not in like a luxury way, but just like, I feel like more people need to think of it in that way.
Yeah. I think it's more
Yeah.
it's just different. They don't have anybody close to them that is in the queer community, so they don't really know how to, like, what to expect, what to do as a parent with a child in the community. So they're kind of just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Do you know what to do? I don't fucking know. And I'm kind of learning myself. So I have to kind of be that liaison between them and be like, hey, we don't say that word anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of not a cool thing right now. It's not that it's like me saying it on behalf of it. It's like, oh, okay, like this is something that could possibly affect me now because you say it.
Yeah.
So just being able to help them understand a little bit more about what is appropriate, and I'm also still learning what's appropriate and what's not. So, as I probably have said before, if there's any information or words or phrases that I use that are inaccurate to the community or in anything at all, please let us know. We
We're young adults. We're learning more and more each day.
We're more than happy to
We're
correct
open.
ourselves if something is inaccurate, whether it be a fact or a phrase or
We're wide open.
Exactly. Open to feedback. You don't have to be rude about it. Just be like, hey, not cool. Don't say this. Okay, cool, fine, not a big deal. Whatever.
Did not know that?
Yep.
Taking note.
Yep. We'll like the comment or whatever. Anything. But going over like moving into more like checkpoints, I have also never liked having long nails. I have
I'm the opposite. I want claws.
I've always been a nail biter. I've always kept my nails short. I hate when there's any white showing on my nails. Apparently that's a stereotype. I don't mind it on other people. I just don't like it on mine. Yeah. So like when my nails are getting kind of long, like if I can feel my nail first and then my skin, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
that's less of a stereotype and more of like utility, like practicality.
Yeah. But that was something that it was like, that's just how I am, and I didn't realize it.
It just happened to be very, very handy.
Exactly. Same with being a little bit more on the masculine side as well. And then, like, my mom, she, like, her and my stepdad are very blue collar, flannel hunting, house in the woods, got big dogs.
Her mother got excited about her pink camouflage rain boots.
Yeah, my mom has pink camo rain boots that she absolutely loves.
Like, the cutest thing ever. And I'm like, you go off. You enjoy that.
Yeah, she loves them. But yeah, my mom she's always worn flannel. Forever and a fucking day. Always worn flannel, overalls, and like
overalls are so fucking cute. I think more people need to get into overalls.
But specifically men's flannels, because they're thicker material, they're heavier, and they're warmer. And she wears them in the wintertime. And the other day, I think it was early last week, I went to Marshall's. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to buy my own flannel. Because my mom gave me one, and it was like the thin material.
Weren't you wearing it like on one of the episodes we recorded?
Yeah, it was
I don't know when it is.
The green and blue one, if you see it. But then I was on the phone with her like last week. She's like, oh yeah, like your sister gave me one of those like a couple Christmases ago, and I love it. And I was like, is it by this company? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, we got the same one. Just different colors. But then she also has like a whole closet full of flannels. She's also a little bit more like boxy, kind of on the masculine side in a way too. in a sense. So I feel like I got a lot of my personality from her in a way. And I think that's kind of, in a way, like affected who I am in a good way about who I want to be. Um, but also like having that, she's kind of like honorary lesbian in terms of like what she wears. But I kind of can't tell her that because she won't. I don't know if she'll approve. Um, what else do we got on there?
Very.
The amount of flannel this woman has.
I mean, she might listen to this anyway, so like.
Probably. I think I sent her one of them. I don't know if she listens to any of them. Yeah, I love you, Mom. You're my best friend. I love you.
To be honored, to be honored.
Um. How did nobody else know?
Can we talk about like that, but also like.
Wait, hang on.
Okay, yeah.
So I also knew that something was a little off was because in school, I'm sorry if I went to high school with you and you're listening to this. No harm, no foul. Nothing happened. But I would, if there was a very beautiful, pretty girl, like one of the preppy girls, I would check them out versus any guy all the time. Like gym class, was like, don't look, don't look, don't look. Just stay in your lane, get changed, and like go stand outside and wait for your friends and don't do anything. But like if it was me and my friends, it was like kind of fine because we're all close. But I didn't want to like accidentally stare at someone, not like intentionally, and have them feel weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, God damn it. But go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, tell me more about like just how stupid people are in terms of like the guys that absolutely would not believe you.
Oh my God.
So it was kind of funny. And it's like a new thing that you're learning to deal with too.
It's really same shit, different day, honestly.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Because whether I was gay or not, I could say I'm not interested. I'm married. I have a boyfriend. I'm celibate. I don't have any lady parts. I'm an alien, and they still won't get the hint. I could literally say anything, and any guy that I have came across, most likely that asks that question, will just flat out ignore it. Doesn't matter what the fuck I say. I could say I have a girlfriend, which there was one point where I had a guy in my Uber, and I was like, oh yeah, like I started a podcast, and it's this and this and this is the name.
If you're listening, hi.
And I don't think so. But I was like, I think he asked.
You can learn from it.
He asked me what the name meant, and I was like, oh yeah, Sappho is like means this, whatever. And it's with me and my sister, so instead of her friend, it's my sister. And it's because I'm like gay, and my sister's autistic, so it's a play on both of us. And he was like, oh, so can I get your number? And I'm like,
sir, do you know what gay means?
Part of that don't you get? Like the or the I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm confused.
Like, sir, are you secretly trans? Do you have a vagina?
And I did actually have a trans person in my car as a passenger, and they were saying that some Uber drivers, if they know that they're trans, they'll kick them out.
What the?
Yeah, and I've also recently came across this realization at the place that I work at now, where there's a scenario where the political and viewpoint on the queer community is not great. It's very old school, where if people knew I was gay, I'm now afraid of people knowing because I might get hurt walking to or from my car in the parking lot. So I have
Is
to
that
be.
the place that you just started?
Yeah. So because these people, like, I don't want to say these people meaning like badly, but the people that I'm working with are very blue collar. They're very.
You're also very new there.
Yes, I'm very new.
Yeah.
They don't know me. There's also some political work stuff that's going on in the background as well that could affect it. So I don't want to add fuel to a fire and have something happen where traditionally I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, it's fine, whatever. But now I have to be more conscious about what I say to whom and how I say it and how I present myself and things like that. So just being extra cautious on those things. Even now, if I if I'm the driver of an Uber and I have a passenger, sometimes I'll say it, sometimes I won't, depends on the conversation. But if I'm in an Uber myself, I will most likely refrain from saying it because they could kick me out. Yeah, they could just drop me off and say, get the fuck out and report me. So
That's
there's
when you report them right back.
there's a lot of things that I never thought that I would have to think about. Like, let's say I have a significant other and we go on, honeymoon, just a couple's vacay. Certain countries, if they see two people of the same sex kissing, they'll literally try and kill you. And I'm like, that is terrifying to have to watch over your back, trying to be on vacation, enjoying the, love of your life, having to worry about these things, or like worrying about anybody trying to, harass you or come after you or, do anything to try to harm you in a sense just because of who you like to sleep with. That never made sense to me. So I feel like it's stupid, but I also know that it's a very concerning and real scenario and it actually does happen. I know that got pretty dark.
I have to say, if you ever come across someone who reacts truly, truly negatively to you being gay, I will personally fist fight them.
Honey, these people got guns.
I will fist fight them anyway.
You ain't gonna win
I will
gun
fist fight them anyway. I'm persistent.
You're gonna be dead. You're gonna be fist fighting with the ants.
Take them down with me.
How?
I will drag them down to hell with me. I swear to God.
But yeah,
I don't have any tolerance for intolerant people.
I'm fine if they don't agree with it. Okay, cool, not your cup of tea. Fine.
It's not like a political belief to agree in. It's just let people live their fucking lives and be happy.
Yeah,
and if that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to associate with people.
Exactly.
Just
they're not
keep
bothering.
your goddamn mouth shut and don't try to take their rights away.
It's not even that. It's like they're not bothering you.
But in Florida, it's definitely that.
Yeah, we're in New York.
I will never ever set foot in Florida as long as Ron DeSantis has a pulse.
Yes, I would agree. I can't imagine myself going to Florida.
This is not by any means a call to action. I'm just saying blanket statement. As long as he has a pulse, I want nothing to do with that entire state.
A lot of people feel the same way about that. So, like, those are also things that I have to think about now about what is actually going on within the queer community, within politics, and laws that are getting passed and revoked and stuff like that, because that now directly affects me. If I'm, gay and I can't have like a lesbian flag bracelet on in the workplace, I need to know about that, just stupid little things like that. But yeah, so things that I have to think about more so now than ever. And I know I'm like promoting that podcast pretty heavily, but I have learned a lot. They kind of created that podcast so that way people who are new to the queer community can have a sense of like family, even if their family doesn't accept them, and kind of be that, mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever kind of being in that person's life to kind of carry them along their queer journey in any way. So if you, I feel like, yes, YouTube is a great resource, but there's also a lot of misconceptions out there too, where like not everything you see on TikTok is how like lesbian relationships are or lesbian sex is. So like not every lesbian scissors. There's like plenty of other positions to do. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. It just depends. But like also not every lesbian uses a strap. So just small things. It really is just person dependent. You can't really put a blanket statement on every person. You just have to figure it out for yourself and what your partner likes. But I have been learning a lot. Yes, like the TikTok videos, compilations on YouTube that I watch, there have been a few things where it's like, whoa, I really like this or I really resonate with this.
Like that one TikTok that I showed you in the one video.
Yeah, anytime I have a bad day, I'm gonna
probably come out. This will probably come out before that one because it's more editing heavy, and we don't got a lot of time right now. But yeah, we did a reaction video.
We're making more videos than we have people to edit properly and
Also,
technical.
I gotta say, like, learning about lesbian stuff with you is, like, so fun. Like, I feel like I never really had, like, a good understanding of lesbians. Like, I'm serious, because, like,
Okay.
a lot of what I know and understand about the queer community is through, like YouTubers that I watch.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, like, I'll watch a lot of trans YouTubers, for example. So I'm like, I adore trans people because there's like so many trans YouTubers that I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lily Simpson, every time she uploads a video, I'm like, yes, because like she'll like critique different episodes of shows that deal with trans characters and how they portray it, and if it's harmful, if it's good. So it's
I like that.
And I all kinds of media criticism, I eat that shit up. Even if it's like a movie I've never watched and never plan on watching, I eat it up. So, but yeah, like I feel like now, like personally knowing lesbian and like learning about like the lesbian community with you, it's like it's kind of fun. It's like the more that I know about the queer community, it's like I love all of you guys so much. Like, the queer community is just so, so, so fun. And just genuinely sweet people.
I have also heard that, like, the bars and clubs and stuff, they're much more of a feel safe environment than any other bar or whatnot.
Because you guys know better than anyone else, like, how important it is to have a safe space. Like, I feel more comfortable around people that I know are LGBTQ, you know?
Yeah, because, and this is not to say that, people in that community don't lie, cheat, be abusive, emotionally, physically.
People are going to be people.
Yeah. Like, that's also a misconception. That, like,
one of the
PSA.
I was talking about earlier is
PSA, I have heard quite a bit on the internet about physical violence in lesbian relationships, and that is not tolerated on this channel or any channel or in any relationship. So please,
just don't be a bad person.
Don't
in
do
general
that to your partner. If it's not okay for
it's not okay for anyone to do it.
No, you should only be putting your hands on someone if it's consenting, or if they want you to do it, or if it's in the bedroom, that's fine. Just not in a violent manner. We are not going to tolerate that. That is not something that I look forward to. I do know that that is kind of like a stereotype in a way, but I don't know if it's a relevant stereotype or not. It's something that I've heard, something that I want to address because it is very important, and it goes the same for any relationship, regardless if you're trans and straight or gay men or non-binary and straight. It doesn't matter what type of relationship or how you identify or your partner identifies. You just shouldn't be doing that whatsoever. Not to say that emotional and psychological violence is
equally bad.
Better. It's sometimes a lot worse. So just be a good human. Have people's emotions and thoughts and feelings in mind. One thing that I also like about being a lesbian is that there's also this very fast
you all in?
No. Oh. that is a stereotype, but it's more like passion in a way. Passion, emotion, connection, those things happen very quickly, almost like, I don't want to say instantaneous, but very, very quickly. Not really. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you can get very attached to someone that you don't know based off of trauma dumping or, just having a couple things that you're super passionate about that you click on. There's this heightened, spike of connection and emotion and oxytocin. And then when something bad happens, it all comes crashing down. So you don't want that high, and low, lows. You want to kind of keep it, a little bit of a bumpy roller coaster, but not drastic.
I feel like my whole life is so goddamn neutral. I could use a few spikes.
But yeah, that is like, it is cool because I feel like they're more understanding about what you're going through, what you're feeling. There are some pros. They're a woman, so they probably also got your back when you got your period, which is great. But I also personally have not been in a lesbian relationship. I've just had experiences.
Dipping your toe in the water.
Yeah, so I'm still learning along the way. I don't know everything yet, but I'm doing my best to kind of learn a lot more very quickly.
It's so fun to watch you learn, though.
Oh, thank you.
Like, look at you growing.
Yeah. Also, last thing I was gonna mention, about the thing we talked about the other day. It was.
Was it the phone call thing?
Yeah. So as a psychology graduate, I'm trying not to self-diagnose right now. But I think I think I have some sort or variant of OCD with perfectionism, because now with my new job, I am like flustered that all their computers are on one side of their table rather than in the middle between two monitors, and their Excels don't always have the top row as phrased and filters on. They have to they'll do it only at the end, and then they do their VLOOKUPs way at the end, and I'm like, can you guys just do anything? Can you do anything?
I thought I was fussy, and then you started opening up more, and it's like, I'm gonna quote Neil Peart here. You make me feel so sane.
Aww. I'm a slut for a good spreadsheet, let me tell you. I'm a slut for a good Excel spreadsheet, but I have a certain ABCs of my spreadsheet that not everybody does, and it pisses me off. But also, the way that I'm being trained sometimes isn't up to what I was expecting, so I'm getting frustrated.
You have a very specific way of taking in information and learning.
Yes.
Very visual.
I'm very visual. I have to see it in my head. You can't tell me to turn left, I will absolutely turn right. I have to see the directions. Yeah, physically be in front of me and turn the direction you need me to go, or move me, or give me a map, because otherwise I will not know where I'm going. But yeah, so I'm a little bit of a perfectionist in
A
a
little
way.
bit.
I've always been, if there was an issue in school or I got a bad grade on a test or an issue with my work that I did at work, I would beat myself up so bad that I would damn near cry.
Oh my god, let me tell you, there was one time.
Can you let me finish?
Sorry. It reminds me.
I know. Be patient.
I'm still learning how to conversation.
Okay. So yeah, I would beat myself up really, really bad where I would cry, and then I would do everything I possibly could to just like drill down, focus, and try and fix it immediately. Like, if I couldn't do it immediately, I would get more frustrated. But sorry, go ahead.
No, just on the beating yourself up thing, I have a very vivid memory from when I was in middle school of like, I I had one of those binders where it's like it zips up and you can keep papers inside of it.
The Trapper Keeper?
Almost like a purse, but it's a binder instead.
Yeah, Trapper Keeper.
I don't know what a Trapper Keeper is.
It's a Trapper Keeper. Promise me.
Well, I had one of those zip up binders, and I would keep all my papers in there for every single subject, and I was never known for being an organized human.
Oh my god.
And I had my homework one morning that I knew I did it. I knew I put it in there. It got lost. I could not find it, and I just remember like crying in class, and then finding it later because it was lost in there. But I'm like, I just remember that was like a low point of like, oh my god.
At one point, I think I was in maybe like first or second grade actually. I had a teacher. When I first started school, I was a messy desk kid.
Oh, okay. Finish your story, but I have a desk story.
So it was back in my day. We had the desks where the top didn't lift up, but the part where your stomach is where you sit was open, and it had the little groove at the front where you could put your pencils or whatever. What if people's desks or if kids' desks were messy and there were papers sticking out of it and it wasn't organized? Oh yeah. She would dump it on the floor and you'd come in the next day and you'd have to figure out which papers were yours, which papers were somebody else's. And then she would call you over during like, study time or free time or whatever, and she would sit with you and be like, okay, we're going to sort through all your papers. I'm missing these sheets. You got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and whatever. I was on top of my work. It's just my desk was messy. And she was like, okay, go organize your desk. Here's what you got to do. And tell me how you feel after it. And I was like, I feel so much better. And she's like, okay, now you'll feel that way anytime you clean your desk or you keep your desk organized. And I think that was kind of like the start of me being a fucking fanatic.
Your teacher is so much nicer than the one I'm about to talk about.
Oh, she would absolutely embarrass you in front of everybody, and then she would pull you to the side and then actually work with you, which was great.
My third grade teacher was an absolute legend, and we had the desks where the top would come off and you put stuff inside.
Mm-hmm.
And if your desk was too like messy, wouldn't close, whatever, she would dump it in front of the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very upfront about that. I'm pretty sure I got mine dumped at least once.
Mm-hmm.
But I fucking love her. She was great. I hope she's doing well.
Yeah. It was like,
I'm pretty sure even my parents remember her being awesome.
Yeah. But I've always been like very particular about things. Like,
Same.
I always have like a certain way that I keep things in my bathroom. I'm very much a routine person where if something fucks with my routine, I get all jacked up. Like I'm all out of whack. So for example, like in the mornings now, I have to wake up, pee, blow my nose, use my Sinex, which is helping me breathe, and then put my contacts in, brush my teeth, get in the shower, get out of the shower, get dressed, grab a waffle, pack up the house, pack up my stuff to like, turn the light on, turn the lights off, whatever. Feed Lily. Then I have to go get in my car. I always park in the same spot.
Oh, same.
And I go to the gas station. I park in the same spot there. I get the same things.
I'm the same.
I get the same things every morning. I leave at the same time every morning. And I get to work at the same time every morning, which is a half an hour earlier than I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be there at 7. I get there at 6:30 ever since I started, which was 2 weeks ago. And they're like, I asked someone, I was like, oh, when are you coming in tomorrow? And they're like, 7. And I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess I have to wait for a half an hour then. What the fuck am I gonna do?
I'm the same way. Like, I remember when I was in college, there was like the building that John had classes in. Like, sometimes I would meet him down there, and there was like this little lounge area with like a couple of couches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if my favorite spot was taken up,
Oh,
I would be like,
brutal.
It was a day ruiner right there.
Yep.
And I remember texting my best friend about it, and she was like, listen, I love you, but you are so dramatic about the stupidest things.
Like, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be like, oh, fuck, someone took my spot.
She was just like, you think that's a problem?
Also, I do have to say, yesterday when we went to go get Chinese food, there is this one girl that works at the
You call people honey like you're like an elderly Southern lady.
Maybe
you're not a grandma. You're not a grandma yet.
Maybe entirely I am.
I think you are.
Shut up.
I'm agreeing with you.
So yeah, this girl, I've ordered from this place forever, it feels like, and for probably like 3 years. And my ex and I used to get it all the time. They have really great Chinese food. I would always go pick it up. And the girl, like, she's like a younger girl, always working the front desk, cashing people out, handing the bags over to people. And every time I go there, I grab my bag, I'm about to walk out the door, she'll grab something out of the fridge and be like, on the house, have a good night. And I was like, oh, thank you, honey. But I didn't know if she remembered me because I hadn't gone there in probably like a year.
She just threw a free iced tea at us.
Yeah, she was like, oh, on the house, in front of other people, in front of like 3 other customers. And
we have to talk about the donuts.
Yeah, and the first time that she ever gave me something for free was those Chinese donuts. And that's how I figured out that I liked them. So now I order them every time I get them.
And by those, I mean like it's like a little fried ball of dough that's like covered in sugar.
Yeah, they're so
good. Like cracked.
They're so good when they're warm and fresh and hot.
We ordered them. What was it supposed to be, like a 6-pack?
Yeah, they gave us
10 in each bag.
6 or 8, and they gave us 10.
Yeah, we had 2 orders of the 6 ones.
Well, I got 2 because I was about to give up my 10 for you. Sorry. I ate those all.
The bags full.
Oh my god, yeah. She hooks a girl up. That lo mein container was filled to the top. That General Tso filled to the top.
Bang for your buck.
She'd be hooking us up.
Bye.
Alright. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode. Sappho and her sister. Bye. We're tired. Good night.